Is Paul George finally going to leave the Indiana Pacers and form that super team with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's HaupCOD here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the news regarding around Paul George. If you guys missed my video yesterday on Kyle Lowry possibly leaving the Toronto Raptors, I'm going to have a card up on the screen. Be sure to go check that out. And before we do get into it, I just wanted to say, if you guys want to win a free gift card, I'm going to be giving away one gift card every single week. All you guys have to do is drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, turn channel notifications on, and then just comment anything you guys do want to, and you guys will be automatically entered into the gift card, and the winners will be contacted through the personal messages of YouTube. Anyways, getting into the Paul George trade. So the latest rumor that I do have at the time of making this video is that the Cavs, Pacers, and Jazz are discussing a three-way deal that would send Kyrie Irving to Utah, George Hill, and Paul George to Cleveland. The reason why I didn't want to talk about Kyrie as much in the title of this video is because I feel like this trade is definitely going to have changes, might not even involve Utah or anything, and I don't feel like Kyrie is actually going to be on the move for this trade to be effective for Cleveland. So I feel like if this trade would have to involve Kyrie Irving just to get Paul George, I really don't think that the Cavs would actually want to do it. But Paul George on his way out of Indiana, this has been going around the league a lot lately. He's been linked to teams like Houston, teams like what's that other team? I'm forgetting the name of it. He's been linked to the Celtics, so he's definitely been heavily exercised within the trade market. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if within the next couple days Paul George is on his way out of the Indiana Pacers and that terrible situation he's in. Because to be honest, he's on the team where they're kind of like how the Chicago Bulls were before they traded Jimmy Butler. They're an alright team. They could do maybe win a round in the playoffs max, but they're not really going to go anywhere, you know. And so they're not at the championship level, and they're not at the rebuild level where they're going to be getting #1 overall picks and stuff like that. So I think if they would actually move Paul George, that would be really good for the organization going forward, just so they could rebuild, and then Paul George could actually finally get a chance to actually win that championship ring that he was trying to do before he got injured in that whole situation when it was the Pacers against the Heat in that conference finals. So yeah, Paul George hopefully is going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. NBA fans should be super excited about this, so we could finally have a team that would compete with the Golden State Warriors, because the Golden State Warriors have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. 4 All-Stars, and even their bench, Andre Iguodala, is probably better than any bench player that the Cleveland Cavaliers do have. So in my opinion, Cleveland Cavaliers are at a major disadvantage, but also Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston could be leaving this offseason from the Golden State Warriors, and this could also heavily affect the Cleveland Cavaliers because those two guys make up a lot of what the Warriors actually produce off of their bench in the postseason. Yes, they do have other guys like McAdoo and stuff like that, but to be honest, during the playoffs, they don't really get that much playing time. JaVale McGee might be another name that's I guess kind of helped the Warriors, but really, to be honest, him and Zaza Pachulia were pretty much non-factors in the playoffs if you really want to think about it. So yeah, the only factor Zaza Pachulia had was actually injuring Kawhi Leonard, but that's a whole completely different story. So Paul George, definitely, if this trade goes through with the Cleveland Cavaliers not having to give up too much, this would just blow up the league insanely, and we would literally just have 2 super teams, and I'd say for the next 3 seasons it would be Cleveland and Golden State, which would actually make that 6 finals in a row where we'd have the same 2 teams. I think these the 2 teams meeting in the finals for 3 years in a row was actually a new record. These guys could just take that record and just absolutely shove it in their asses. They destroy it. So yeah, Paul George going to the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to make huge NBA history. So first, I'm going to start off on the Indiana side of this trade. Paul George is making the most money by far on Indiana. They aren't too bad. They aren't bad at all with their actual money situation and stuff like that. Paul George he's set to make $20 million if he does pick up his player option for 2018-2019, and then 2017-2018 he's going to be making 19.3. But if they do want to rebuild and have a lot of space, maybe to go really hard in a couple off seasons or something like that, getting rid of that $20 million for Paul George, who probably won't stay after his contract, would definitely be a smart move to get out of. Because Miles Turner they have him on a super cheap contract, $2 million next year, $3 million, and then $4 million. That is a very, very good contract for a really young and up and coming center in Miles Turner. So why why Paul George would actually want to leave Indiana is because obviously they're not going to be winning, and I feel Indiana does want to go more on that rebuilding route because they do realize that they're not going to win anything right now, and they should probably just downscale it a little bit and kind of reshape their roster. But on the other side, Cleveland Cavaliers, this trade would be very, very tricky for them to pull off because they don't want to trade Kyrie or LeBron, obviously. So the best player they could probably give up in this is Kevin Love. And I don't even know if they really want to do that much. But the thing is, these guys are making huge amounts of money. Kyrie's making 18.8 in 2017, 2018. In 2018, 2019, he's making 20 million. And then in 2019, 2020, he's going to be making $21 million. And that's just Kyrie Irving. Kevin Love is going to be making 22, 24 million, and then 25 million in those years. And LeBron James, oh my god, 33 million next year and 35 million in 2018, 2019. So, and obviously LeBron is not an option for this trade, but still, he is eating up a lot of that cap space. That is a fat contract right there. Holy shit. So yeah, Kevin Love, in my opinion, would be the piece to move in this. Getting rid of that 24 million, it would almost be like an instant kind of just like cash swap for Paul George. But the thing is, I feel that Cleveland would even have to give up more than just Kevin Love to acquire Paul George. So this trade would definitely help out their salary balancing. But besides that, they just have more overpaid players that the Indiana Pacers necessarily wouldn't want. Tristan Thompson at 16 million, 17 and then 18 million. J.R. Smith at 13 and 14 and 15 million is also a questionable contract. Iman Shumpert making 10 million and then 11 million. That is also, these are some very, very high contracts. And then Channing Frye next season is also set to make 7 million. 7 million for like a stretch big center that plays like, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes off the bench. I don't know, that's not really the best contract. But they also do have a whole bunch of free agents. They have Kyle Korver as a free agent, Andrew Bogut, who I think they still own the rights to, but maybe they actually released him. Darren Williams, who was actually a pretty good point guard for them off the bench. They definitely want to re-sign him for next season. There is so many players that they have, and just also those like role players like James Jones and stuff like that, Dante Jones, Jordan McRae, Derek Williams, who they also just picked up kind of at the end of this season. So the Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot of like fixing and messing around to do with their roster, and even with all those guys as free agents, just the fact that Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and LeBron James make up pretty much that whole salary. And yeah, I don't know if any teams are actually going to want to pick up those types of contracts, especially not that Tristan Thompson one, especially after the way he performed in the NBA Finals. Jeez, that was just terrible. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think would be like the final trade. For me, this Cavaliers, Pacers, and Utah Jazz trade is just not going to happen because, for one, Kyrie Irving going to Utah. So what is Utah going to give up to actually get Kyrie Irving? And then Utah is going to lose George Hill, and he's going to go to Cleveland, and also Paul George would go to Cleveland in this supposed trade. And what would the Pacers be getting in return for Paul George? So really, I don't know if this trade's going to happen. It seems too fishy. I really don't think that LeBron also wants to lose Kyrie Irving, because realistically, if you're losing Kyrie Irving and then you're getting Paul George, that's kind of like a swap. Maybe Paul George is a little bit better, or maybe Kyrie Irving is a little bit better. It really depends on like which player you like better, but to be honest, they're not that different skillfully or like at a skill level. And then also getting George Hill, like he's an alright point guard, but still you'd rather have Kyrie Irving. And then also they could realistically just re-sign like Darren Williams or something, and that's almost the same as George Hill. But George Hill has been having a good year actually, to be fair. But still, he's a point guard, he likes to pass and stuff like that, and on a team with LeBron James, you don't need a passing point guard. You need someone that's going to score. That is why Kyrie Irving works perfectly with LeBron James, because he's not exactly a guy that's going to be like diming out to everybody. He's actually going to be scoring and getting buckets for himself, which works perfectly because LeBron is a point forward. He's actually always the one passing it out and stuff like that. So I definitely do feel that this trade is actually gonna, if they would actually get George Hill and give away Kyrie Irving, that wouldn't exactly work into Cleveland's best interest. So yeah, I think a direct trade with the Indiana Pacers, my personal prediction would probably be Indiana gives up Paul George, and then maybe Paul George and someone like maybe Lavoy Allen, just kind of to work out salaries. Lavoy Allen and Paul George, I don't know, just, you know, someone like that for like Kevin Love and I don't know, maybe Richard Jefferson or something like that. kind of just something I had in mind. To be honest, I really don't think it's going to be those two guys. Realistically, it'd probably be a 3-team trade, but definitely not this Utah one. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys do think of this trade. Let me know if you guys think Paul George is actually going to move. Could it be Boston? Could it be Houston with CP3 and James Harden there? That could be a really interesting combination. Chris Paul, James Harden, and Ryan Anderson, if they'd be able to keep him, and Paul George on the same team, that would be a nasty team. And Eric Gordon off the bench, ooh, that team would actually be disgusting. But realistically, I think Cleveland could actually get him, and there also have been linked to Carmelo Anthony. That I feel is less likely, so I think the Cleveland Cavaliers should actually focus more on Paul George. Anyways though, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you guys missed my Kyle Lowry video, if you guys want to go check that out, I'll have a card up on the screen or something like that, and you guys can go click on it there. And also be sure to enter that gift card giveaway, one gift card every single week, whichever gift card you guys want to, like you guys can pick or whatever, and I'll just buy it. All you guys have to do is drop a like on this video, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, and then turn on channel notifications, and you guys are good to go. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Have a great day, and peace out.